love you. Welcome back, Couch Potatoes. We're Green Faceless on the Couch. I'm the Green Traveler.
And I am the Faceless Leone. This is a podcast about movies and TV. There's spoilers sometimes. We'll let you know if any major plot things are going to be revealed. Don't worry. Here we are. We're talking about...
Yeah, we're talking Dr. No.
Dr. No. No, Doctor, no!
No, Doctor. But it's a film from 1962, so, we will put up a spoiler wall if we think there's any, huge plot spoiler that's about to happen.
Right.
But it's a Bond film for 1962. Like,
right.
Come on, you should have watched it by now.
Well, okay. I don't know. Like, not everybody is... hey, I'm going to go back to the beginning and watch this. Honestly, there's less people around who were movie theater going people from 1962.
Yeah, but Sean Connery was still such a huge figure. And
yeah.
May he rest in peace. Great actor.
Not too long ago.
Sadly passed.
Yeah.
But that said, it's like when you're exploring, what movies strike my interest the most. I mean, I assume everybody watches at least like one movie out of each kind of genre somewhere along the line.
Sure.
I feel like if you're gonna watch a spy movie, James Bond is the easy go-to.
It sure
and if you're gonna
is.
watch a James Bond movie, you're gonna want to watch Sean Connery, I think, only because of he's the most talked about.
That is
only
true.
Because he's the popular.
That's true. But I would argue that if they're not like big movie buffs, that they might just go straight for a Daniel Craig movie.
I mean, I feel like if they're not big movie buffs, they're probably going to be talked into Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that I just think it's easier to get people who aren't big moviegoers to watch a more recent film for some reason. If
that
they're
might
young,
be true.
If they're like if they're an older person, that's like I think it's easier for older movies to get them watched.
I mean, Skyfall does have a beautiful cinematography to pull anybody in. So
that's right. That's exactly.
We're not talking that.
We're talking that.
Dr. No.
What started it all?
Yeah, we're taking a bit of a break from the Disney playlists to talk about the fourth highest grossing franchise of all time, James Bond. Can you guess what the other three are?
Marvel.
Marvel's number one.
Star Wars.
That's number two.
I don't know, man.
Think
is it Harry Potter?
It is. Well, they call it the Wizarding World, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They added the Fantastic Beasts and fucked it all up, yeah. I say if you're willing, scrap all of it, even the Harry Potter movies. We'll talk those soon. But scrap all of it and go buy my television show that I plan on making sometime when I'm big and famous.
Right.
Yeah, I'll get there. It involves the retelling of Dumbledore's story and then the first Wizarding War with Voldemort. It's really good. I like it.
I like the idea. I've sat through the idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah, we just gotta get rid of J.K. Rowling now.
That's it.
And by get rid of, I mean just remove her from getting money from it. She's gone crazy. But we're talking James Bond.
We're talking James Bond.
Coming number 4th of franchise. Which is surprising because, again, we've mentioned spy movies. They're not my favorite thing in the world at all. They're not really my
cup of tea either. Though I do have to say up front that I did actually enjoy watching this movie. I wasn't so sure I would. But what were you saying about?
Just that it's the highest grossing.
Yes, it's the highest. Yeah, I mean, there's car chases. I mean, especially those earlier movies like Sean Connery and the other people playing Bond. They were like the height of English masculinity.
Yeah, it definitely does set a precedent of like what a gentleman would look like,
Right.
which I don't honestly I feel like, especially Sean Connery's. I've tried so many times to watch all of the Bond movies, and I've never made it past Sean Connery and Daniel Craig.
No.
I've watched all Daniel Craig's and Sean Connery's. That's it. Sorry, Pierce Brosnan fans. I've watched one of Pierce Brosnan movies, and it was enough for me to not be interested in the others. And now that we're doing this playlist, I will watch all of them, of course, just so I can complain about them, I guess. But Sean Connery's James Bond, especially, is not a very good moral character.
Oh, no.
There's so many times where he coerces women into sex, and it's like, that's bordering on rape at times. Especially in later movies.
Yeah. And then this one, I wouldn't say that anything he does is non-consensual, but he does like...
He definitely lies to this one lady.
Oh, yes.
Hardcore, and then gets her arrested like right afterwards.
Yeah. Are we talking about... I can't recall because...
I don't remember her name. She's the black-haired lady who's kind of double agent spying on him.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I don't remember what her character's name was, but
that's fine.
He does like seduce her after. Well, it's not so much that he seduces her. He just she doesn't think that he knows yet, but he already knows.
Yeah. Like her job is to keep him occupied at one spot. But he knows that that's her job, and he already has, it doesn't matter if he's occupied because he already has backup there to, like, arrest her.
Exactly.
So he's like, yeah, sure, I'll just take the next 4 hours to have sex with her and then toss her to the police.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of gross, for sure.
It's just like, you little sleazebag.
Yeah. But
and that's going to be a running theme of James Bond.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I might as well get some.
If I'm going to do this. Yeah, I have the my favorite way to look at all these movies, and I think this is, as we go through them, I think this is how I'm going to look at them all, is that James Bond is just a title. It's that fan theory that, they're not all the same person. They're all just taking, it's the next person to take the James Bond title. So Sean Connery was the first 007. And then he's going to get replaced, but then he'll come back for whatever reason. But yeah, I like to believe that they're not all the same person, that it's a continuation. It's not a reboot ever. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I see them as just different adaptations of the same person. I wouldn't buy into any chart that chronologically tries to put these in order in James Bond's life. I think they're just different interpretations of the same character, much as like, you'd get a Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how they play it, but I think it's fun to watch it from my point of view.
That's fair.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to see if it works.
Yeah, you're going to... Okay, yeah. It'll be your argument throughout, and I will be there to bring it down.
I want to see how their M changes, their money penny. I want to see if it could all just flow well together.
Yeah, I am curious of how all that goes, for sure. But for M, like, you definitely get to see that in those Daniel Craig movies. That, like, that the is passing. A title.
Yeah, the passing of that.
That's a good argument for this character as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, they definitely pass on the 00 title. Right, I'm just saying that the name James Bond is also passed on.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'll give you that. So, what is Dr. No about?
Yeah. You want...
I'll take it. So, Sean Connery, James Bond, he gets called to Jamaica because an agent goes missing. Like, they're pretty sure she's dead, but they're following up, they're figuring it out, and it all leads to Dr. No. Which that's kind of how spy movies work. It's very slow build to get enough information to reveal the villain, and then they go from there. But Dr. No is a scientist,
a handless scientist.
Yeah, incidentally, he does work with Spectre, which I guess is an acronym. I don't remember what the acronym is for.
It's dumb. It's long.
I don't know if that really comes into play any other time, but it's Spectre. Spectre is important.
It'll come into play in the next few movies.
It'll come into play. Dr. No messes with radiation and stuff, and that's what the movie's about.
Yeah, the Dr. No's trying to stop an American launch. It's space race time, and we're still ways out from the moon landing, but America's getting close with their rockets, and whoever runs Spectre doesn't want America to launch rockets. So
Stop
handless
launching those rockets.
Yeah, handless Dr. No is trying to shoot radio beams.
Yes, radio
at the launch
beams.
site. It's stupid spy convoluted plot. Yeah,
a little bit.
I don't know. No, I mean I get why people like spy movies. They just don't grab me. They're just so boring. Like I can watch dry movies, but there's nothing to these except for Bond's character. Bond makes them watchable.
Makes it worth it. Yeah, I would say so. I guess that really kind of speaks to Sean Connery too. Like I don't even think he was planning to be an actor. At least that's the story I've heard. And I think he worked around somebody who was doing some casting for the show. And once again, this is like a story I heard a couple years ago. And they saw him and is like, okay, I want him to do it. He's got the look. And they're like, okay.
He is a handsome man.
He is a handsome man. Those eyebrows, man. I mean, wow.
And he's got such a lovely voice.
Gosh.
Yeah, he definitely makes this whole movie worth watching despite the moral issues with his personality.
Yes. And I mean, I think that speaks to the era. Not that makes it okay.
Well, except for, I mean, you say it speaks to the era, but even today we still have Bond girls who are always used for visual enhancement, and that's it.
Yes.
They do always try to give, some more depth to the characters, but the Bond girl of Dr. No is called Honey Rider, and she's kind of just a ditz that he finds on an island, just randomly finds on an island.
She has read the encyclopedia through I, okay?
Oh shit.
I'm sorry, through T.
Oh shit.
That was an underestimation.
Slight spoilers ahead. Skip to 1732. Yeah, and she gets kidnapped and becomes damsel in distress, and Bond has to go through the weirdest series of tunnels ever to find her. It's
also the waste removal system for a fucking nuclear reactor.
Yeah, it makes no sense, and like
he is dead.
Yeah, he's dead, and they lock him up in a room with a grate that leads to this. Like they're just begging for him to get out. It's like, it's electrocuted once though. It's got enough for one shock, not enough to kill you, but it'll scare him a bit. And it's just like, and then he's gonna try again, dumbasses. Like it's the dumbest thing.
Oh man,
these are smart scientists working with radio beams, but they can't figure out how to lock one person up accurately.
Oh my god. And so like I said, James Bond dies on this mission, and so does Honey 4 Rider times. And everyone else.
Yep, because of radiation poisoning.
Right. Even the CIA guy, the Felix Leader or whatever his name is.
Sure.
He and his troops that come up and save them from drifting into the sea, they're dead. They're dead because there was a nuclear explosion at the end of this movie.
I'll put up a spoiler wall before.
Yes, yeah, that's a good idea. But
not only, that's another thing that irritates me is that FBI agent comes and saves them in the sea at the end there.
Yeah,
and they toss him a rope, and he grabs the rope, and then he lets it go so he could have sex, and it's just like, you still need to be saved, dumbass. Like,
I feel like Leader was just like, I guess.
Leader's like, I mean, if I was Leader, I'd be like, all right, fuck him, we're going home.
Yeah,
like,
we're going home. We got better things to do.
Job's done. I got to report back to duty at 8:00 tomorrow.
It's like I got a 7:00 plane to go back to the States, man. I'm done here.
Yeah, we should say one really annoying thing is, like, as we were talking about with the nuclear radiation, they don't understand how that works, you know, because everybody gets doused in it and they're all fine. But also earlier on, there is a diabolical assassination attempt on James Bond that involves releasing a tarantula in his bed. And, like, I get why Bond's afraid. I'm not saying, like, Bond's fear is not appropriate, because you wake up with a giant tarantula crawling on you, you're going to be terrified. But the killers, guys, tarantulas aren't deadly.
Yeah.
Their venom does, like, nothing to, like, very little to humans. Like, it takes a lot to even do anything to humans. But it's like, I don't know, maybe tarantulas just weren't heavily researched back in the 60s, but I highly doubt it. Like, I feel like,
or I don't know, they just were like, you know, people will disband their disbelief, and
people are just like, tarantulas are scary.
Yeah, it's like, and some people know that some spiders are poisonous, and most people know we're not gonna let poisonous spiders walk on Sean.
Holy shit, if we kill him with fear, it's the perfect disguise. He'll have a heart attack and we'll never know.
Yeah, and then there would be another James Bond, according to the theory.
According to my theory. Well, there would be, there would be a new 007, but would that 007 be named something different? Who knows?
I don't know.
Do you have any dream actors to play James Bond when Daniel Craig scoots off?
Who to play James Bond?
I've heard people say Idris Elba, and I really like that option.
I like that idea. I feel like he's getting a little old, but he could be an older James Bond. That'd be cool.
Yeah, right. You don't need he doesn't need to be in there long, you know. 2 or 3 movies about an aged James Bond.
Right.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Tom Hardy would be kind of fun.
Tom Hardy would be a good one. I mean, he's already done some spy stuff.
Ooh, Michael B. Jordan.
Is he English?
Does it have to be an Englishman?
I kind of feel like it has to be an Englishman. He's from MI6.
Sean Connery is Scottish.
Yeah. He was of the realm. Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan can do an English impersonation, if anything.
If anything, he could. He definitely could. But I feel like it's an English person.
The story could be about how James Bond is a spy. A double agent. I mean, obviously he is a spy. I meant like he's...
Okay, so he's really...
He's from another... he's really American.
Really American, okay.
Yeah, he's CIA breaking into the
MI6. It's like, they got better gadgets than us.
Pay me, so Broccoli Productions.
So, anyhow, there is more to say about this film. Like, there's definitely some, like... yeah, I know. I reeled this back in. There's definitely some weird old stereotype stuff going on.
Especially with
like
the FBI henchman.
The FBI henchman?
The I can't remember, Quarter or whatever his
Coral.
name is.
Yeah, Coral. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that these guys are CIA, but anyways, yeah, Coral is working for them, and he's like a fisherman tour guide. I do really like Coral, but he definitely plays up the Jamaican stereotype quite a bit. Which, I mean, you know, maybe that's just the direction that John Kitzmiller was getting. I don't know, maybe he is Jamaican. I didn't do any research, so we might just, you know, cut all this. But at any rate, there is some like social things that, like, some interactions that happen that like definitely put him in more of a servitude role, which kind of gross.
Yeah, they definitely just use his character at times.
Yeah.
And then just discard him when they don't need him anymore.
Exactly. That's a good term for what happened, I felt like.
Yeah, and it is sad because, like, I did enjoy his character.
Yeah.
Just because he was something different than Bond. Like, it's, you know, so much... Like, everybody Bond interacts with is either sleazebag criminal or suave, handsome man. Or, you know, beautiful, attractive model. And so just having somebody who was just normal person, you know, just helping out on the area, it definitely just grounds the story, because again, it's a boring story. Like, there's, you know, it's a spy movie. It's just going from the one lead to the next. And
I will say, though, this is not the most boring of the James Bond movies I've seen.
No, it's not. I mean, I know it's gonna get boring hearing me say that every movie's boring, but like the action in this is, I mean, it's 1960s quality. It's, you know, you watch a car chase and it's just a guy jerking back on a stationary steering wheel with a green screen behind him shifting.
I gotta say, I really enjoyed the car race. So
God.
Okay, I think I
enjoyed them from a comedy standpoint.
It was kind of goofy, but I liked the old effects. I mean, you know, for me, it's like just a window back in time how they used to do things.
I mean, it is enjoyable to see it from that perspective, and I should give the movie credit because it was a very low budget film. You know, not many people were willing to dump money into a spy movie in the 60s. This was the movie that made spy movies. You know, this made them popular, and like, I get it. Like, and I don't want to rag on it because, again, it is 60s quality. You know, they did a good job. I'm just saying that for some people it works. For me, I'm just like, this is goofy and it looks bad. Except Sean looks good at the wheel.
Yeah,
I do like Sean Connery's like expressions, because he is, you know, he's making it enjoyable.
Right.
It's just their version of action just seems so staged and I don't know.
Okay, so I will say that I loved the sets in this movie. There's some really good sets, like especially Dr. No's fireplace. That was cool. I want that fireplace.
I think everything of Dr. No's is pretty cool, like the laboratory, and I mean, except for the tunnels. Like, again, I don't get the fucking tunnels. Jeez, like there's no way you could hide something that big. Like, he goes through like 100 different tunnels that are all like 100 feet wide.
Well, I mean, he owns the island.
They're very clearly not that wide. Very exaggerating the width of the tunnels, but
they're big enough for Bond to crawl through and still get like completely soaked in water that has, you know,
dirty water
waste in it.
Yeah. I mean, but yes, it is an enjoyable film, and you can definitely work through it, and you know, it's not a overly convoluted plot, so it's like, you know, simple spy movie with decent acting all around. Great acting from Sean Connery.
Talking about simple plot, I still don't know what happened in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Well, someday I'm sure we'll watch the spy movie threesome, and it'll be the exact same thing with all three movies. I was bored. This is what I remember.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what it is about me. You know, I understand that a lot of people do like spy movies.
Yeah.
I don't understand how I can enjoy classic Doctor Who, which can be very dry and very goofy, and yet not enjoy old spy movies. You know, it's like there's something about them that just doesn't grab me.
If they're good, I like them. Like, this one was pretty good, even though they just blatantly ignore some things, like physics. Besides, no, I keep on bringing it back into that. But also, I did want to mention that there's Yellowface in this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where, like, there's a couple of characters who are clearly not played by Chinese people, but are portraying Chinese people, which, I mean, it's just kind of gross because they had Chinese actors and they could have done it. Like, they even have Chinese actors in the background of this film. Yeah. Like, even like Dr. No is, I don't know, Joseph Weissman, he said he was half German. That Dr. No is half German anyways. But I think he was wearing makeup. I don't think that I could be wrong. They call him Chinese throughout the movie.
Okay.
And
I did not pick up on that.
But yeah, they call him Chinese throughout the movie, and then when you get there, he's very clearly white. And I can't tell if I think he's wearing makeup, but I mean, I guess I don't know his story. Joseph Weissman could be half Chinese. I don't know.
I'll cut it out if he is.
But I think it's Miss Taro. That I could be wrong. I shouldn't name the character names because I don't know either. But the woman that we were talking about earlier, that he seduces, she was definitely portrayed by. She was definitely a white woman portraying. Yeah. So just fair warning to people that there is that in this movie.
See, I didn't even pick up that she was supposed to be portraying a non-white woman either. I thought she is just a white woman.
I think with the makeup that's what they were trying to do. Okay. And she was, I mean, her hair was a wig too.
Yeah.
But I mean, actors wear wigs.
Yeah, I just thought that was the fashion that she was going for.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure I can't, like I said, I can't remember the character's name now, but I from her name and that she was connected to Dr. No. Like, I'm pretty sure that they were trying to portray her as Chinese. Well, no, she even says, "I'll cook you a Chinese home cooked meal." She even says that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know. Again, I just thought she was just saying, "I'll cook you a meal that's Chinese." I don't see it. I don't see it as. I mean, I'm sure that is what they were going for. It's just like, from my point of view,
you didn't see it.
Zonked out. I didn't realize it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely that they were there. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry to burst your bubble of innocence. But, you know, I don't think that just because these things are in films that people should stop watching old films. Like, there's merit in these stories. They're just the people making them were making stupid choices.
They were just morally incorrect.
Yes.
There's other, besides sexism and racism, there's other Bond staples in Dr. No. There's, you know, we've already mentioned the handicapped villain. That's a common, you know, Bond villain always has to have something weird about them physically. You know, it has a crazy intro. Where Monty Norman's amazing theme is played.
Right. That definitely does become a tradition.
Yeah, it really does. It's you know, it's very weird. I really like that tradition, but you know, I'm happy that not a lot of movies do that, because it definitely is a nice thing to go into a movie and just have an introduction like that.
Yeah, and you know, I think I like the opening credits not being the film too, because honestly, people run late to the movie theater. I want them to watch my damn movie.
Right.
But I think that those intros are pretty cool. But this one in particular, The transitions were really weird. Like from the standard Bond theme to the intro music, and then into the Three Blind Mice.
Yeah, the Three Blind Mice one is very bad.
Yeah, the transition from those is so strange, and I just feel like they could have. I don't know. They could have figured that out.
Going into the Three Blind Mice was very like abrupt, and it's really bad. Like it kind of makes us like, did the film break? Like because it's just like
it was really abrupt.
Yeah, it's not the best intro. There's other Bond staples. It's got the characters of M, Moneypenny, and it's obviously the Bond personality is established. The suave, handsome man, very charming, good in an action scene. The luckiest special agent or secret agent that lived since Sterling Archer.
Yeah.
Oh, and shaken not stirred. He does get his weak ass martinis. He drinks vodka martini. That's another thing that bothers me with Bond. Vodka martini with a lemon twist. Like, dude, just go gin. Like, if you're gonna order a martini, get a proper martini. In my opinion. I know a lot of people are gonna tell me it's like martinis are better with vodka. Vodka's weak. Like,
hey, though maybe he did it that way so that he could drink more without getting too freaking turned.
I think
so that he could
because
stay a good spy. And people were like, "Oh, well, that guy's been drinking all night. He's loaded. We could take advantage of him." And he's like, "Watch out, calm my girl."
I just don't think he appreciates the splendor that is a gin martini.
That could be it.
I know I am one of few on that.
Well, I don't know. Did we talk about Dr. No?
Briefly. I tried hard not to.
I did feel like you were pulling us away. It was intentional.
It was intentional.
Hey, I mean there are things I liked. Yeah, well, go ahead. Yeah, what do you
I give it 2 stars. It's a decent spy movie. Especially setting up this huge franchise. It definitely hooks people who are interested.
Right.
Sean Connery, in my opinion, is like the only thing that keeps me going through it. Right. But as you will find with this playlist, as I've mentioned many times already, spy movies are not my thing. Mm-hmm. I am willing to go through them because I want to harass people who enjoy them. But the people who do enjoy spy movies will enjoy this one. But if you're not into that, just don't.
Yeah, that's fair. That is a fair assessment. So, because I know that I will probably have multiple of these movies that I didn't really enjoy, because I'm kind of in the same boat as you, and our listeners might be like, why are they even doing this? They don't like them. But the thing is that I do like them, but there's like a good 1/6 to 1/2 of each of these movies that I'm like, I don't need it. I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the other reason to
individually of the individual film. Excuse me.
That's the other reason to do these. If we don't like it, it's better content typically.
Sometimes. We got more to say.
If you're, if you really like it, it's kind of just like, this are the reasons I really like it.
Go see it.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
If we hate it, we can bitch about it.
So what I was trying to get around to is that even though I didn't, it's not like this is my favorite film in the world, but I'm gauging these faces that I'm going to give it based off of the whole run, and I think there's going to be a lot of half to no faces. And I honestly really enjoyed watching this movie, even yelling at it that everyone was all dead. Everyone. Yeah, every single one of them. So I think I'm giving it a full face. I'm giving it a full face because I think that it is a pretty well put together movie. I don't really have, besides science stuff, I don't have really too much
and racist stuff.
And racist stuff. That's I did complain about that because it's worth pointing out. But other than that, like plot wise, I mean, it wasn't a confusing plot. I understood what happened. I
it's
think
silly.
It's just it's on the very low end of a full face, but it got a full face.
Is it waxing gibbous?
I think it's waning. I don't remember which one's gaining.
I think waning's gaining. I think waning's gaining.
Okay, then it's waxing.
Oh, the astrology nerds are going to be killing us now.
Yep. Here we are, stoned by telescopes. I've been the Faceless Leone.
And I'm the Green Traveler.
Safe travels, everybody. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of Fiction Works 19. If you want to learn more information about us, check us out on Facebook. You can also check out the Facebook and Instagram accounts of Fiction Works 19. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, or subscribe wherever you catch the show. Thank you all very much for listening.